Warning: the following video may or may not contain strong language. Depending on the subject at hand, the topic may range from PG-13 to rated R. So proceed with caution if you want to continue with the video. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, thank you for watching the video. Have a good day. Yosh, and welcome to Azure Sgood, as in, you sure it's good? Or, animes watched when they're seen. Red hair guy, thank you. We'll leave it at that. Anyway, welcome to the show. Speaking of show, this is a series. This series is basically me watching anime and seeing, if they're good. Sometimes me and my friends get together and trying to see if I can like the anime that they like. Sometimes they will have to tie me to a bed, hold my eyelids open, and force me to watch the ceiling in which they installed a brand new TV and they put on whatever anime that they want me to watch for many, many hours. Why would they do that? Guys, why? Come on, just give me the, just give me the Blu-ray set or DVD set. What? What? Anyway, enough dilly-dally shilly-shally. The topic of this episode is Re:Zero Season 2. Episode 4, titled Parent and Child. Or in the overall episodes of Re:Zero, this is actually episode 29. And now with me and Hayami already watched the episode, there's only one thing left to do. And that is, take it away, past me, future me, let's go! Or, let's just go.
Oh, so this is how you do it. Okay, I'm getting the hang of this. Okay.
Welcome.
Okay, so for this is episode 4, right? I forgot again.
Yeah, episode 4.
Okay. Alright, so what do you think of it?
Subaru's mom is very spacey.
Yeah, she kind of is.
Yeah, airhead. So the dad seems like they seem very similar.
Well, considering the fact that Subaru looks a little bit more like his mom.
Yeah, but I mean personality a little bit.
Yes, including the hyperactive everything. You're correct.
The high tension, sort of like a shonen protagonist.
Yeah. I also noticed something interesting. You're right about the mother being a little bit more airheaded-ish.
Yeah.
But do you notice she also kind of look a little bit, not exactly, but she kind of remind me of Amelia. You know, the eyes and all that.
Yeah, but he looks like her though. That's the thing.
Yeah, true. But when I saw the mother's eyes, I couldn't help but think of Amelia. And sometimes there are occasions where sometimes the children are attracted to, when they get a crush, is not all the time, but sometimes it reminds them of who they grew up with.
Well, that's the thing, is that they say that, like, for women, that they look for traits in their fathers when they marry someone, unless they absolutely have a horrible relationship with their parents. But for children growing up in households where they have a good relationship with their parents, females look for quality traits in their dad, and that they usually ended up marrying someone with quality traits, and then the men usually look for quality traits for a mom, basically.
Yeah, they just look at traits that is similar to their parents, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Just, they don't really notice. Okay, that makes sense.
Which is interesting, which I didn't think about, so.
Side note, which kind of reminds me of the It Chapter 2 movie. One of the characters who has an abusive mother, his wife, who happens to be exactly like his mother, an abusive wife. Which is, ironically enough, as an inside joke, the actress who played his mother also played his wife in the sequel.
Wait, what?
Have you ever seen It Chapter 2, the movie?
No.
One of the kids has an abusive mother in the first film.
Yeah.
In the second film, when he's an adult and married, his wife is basically just like his mother.
Yeah, but you said something about the actress.
I'm going to assume it's an inside joke. The actress who played his mother in the first film played his wife in the sequel. Different character. Which I thought was like, not only did he grow up to marry a woman just like his mother who was abusive, they got the same actress.
That's funny.
That's kind of funny. Anyway, it just reminded me of that for a bit. But anyway, this is like we get to see his parents for the first time. I don't think this is legitimately the first time we get to see his parents in the story. I think
there's silhouettes in the first season.
Well, did they? I could have sworn I heard that they do appear in the first season. So do you?
They do. There's a brief flash of scenes because I rewatched Re:Zero, and there is this very brief scene, which is like maybe a half a second or something, and you see silhouettes.
Oh, so did they have speaking roles?
No.
Okay.
They're stills.
Okay, was in a moment in this episode where the mother told him goodbye. I'm just like, this is literally near the end of the episode, but when the mother tells him not goodbye, take care.
Yeah.
He got a little flashback to the moment before the anime began.
Yeah.
In which the mother said the same thing and he didn't really respond. That's to me, it seemed like it was a scene that was cut out from the first season. That's just my opinion, because I never read the light novels yet.
I don't think so. What I'm judging from, I don't think that would be the case.
In the story purposes, it would kind of bring it full circle.
At least in the web novels, it began with the mini mart. Because I've only read like a little bit of the first volume of the web novel, just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just starts in the same place. But I don't know if they changed that in the light novel, so I wouldn't know. Because this is going off after the light novel, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and the anime began at the mini mart, just like in the light novel. So I'm going to assume, I guess it didn't. In story purposes, I think it just would have made a nice full circle if that scene played out in the first season.
Yeah, it would make sense. Yeah, it would make a full circle type of thing. It's interesting how that was his trial. I'm wondering what's going to happen at the very end of the series, because like he's overcoming a bunch of things, but I wonder if he's going to go back to his own world after everything's done or not.
Kind of like an Escaflowne-esque type thing?
Yes, but maybe he'll bring back Emilia or something.
I mean, it's going to be hard to...
Or he'll go to school and he'll see someone that looks exactly like Amelia.
I mean, you're not wrong in this episode, which we'll get to later.
Now, though.
Which we'll get to, we'll get to that later. But, oh man. I also noticed something about this episode too. Like, in other isekai anime, they don't really focus on the main character's old life. Have you ever heard of any other isekai anime which the main character from a different world be like, you know what? I miss the convenience store. You know, the closest thing is, I want to hunt millions, get so much gold coins so I can make myself material so it could take me months and months just to make soy sauce.
Hagare Yusha was like that, though, but it was sort of like a reverse isekai. You don't know anything that goes on in the other world, but happens in the real world, because in Hagare Yusha, one of the heroes ends up bringing back the Demon King's daughter to the real world.
Well, that does not sound friendly at all.
And then the current anime, which sort of goes back, which is similar to what Re:Zero did, is Ascendance of a Bookworm.
Ah, yeah, I keep hearing things
But those are about the only two that I know that actually do a callback to the old world.
Yeah, because I don't remember hearing that in...
That's for modern isekai. If there's plenty of examples if you look to, like, really old stuff, like from El Hazard is one. That goes back quite a bit. It ties in a loop.
Ties a loop.
And Maze. But I don't know if you've heard that. They're really old. They're from the 90s.
Because I was thinking, Re:Zero is kind of modern, but the story is like 10 years old now?
No, it's 5.
5 years old. Oh, okay.
Yes, I believe so. Hold on, let me double check that. Yeah, because Re:Zero came out like in 2015.
Well, I know the anime did. I'm talking about the original source, the web novels and the light novels. I know the light novels came out a couple years after the web novel, but the story, it was written during a time where isekai storytelling was a little bit different.
Okay, the web novel was in 2012, but that's sort of like the rough draft sort of thing. But when it got officially public in stores, it's 6 years old.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah, and then the anime
2017?
and the anime aired 2 years later.
2017, yeah, it seemed like a
2016.
You said 15 for the light novel.
No, it's June 2014.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense for the 16. Okay, this is just me, but did you notice they put some little bit of Easter eggs in this episode? Well, they did it in the last episode.
There's Asterisk Wars.
There you go.
Yeah, the posters. I didn't see... Let me go back to the episode, because I was only sort of paying attention to the subtitles.
Because I only got 2 references. One was, you're right, it was Asterisk Wars. I think her name was Keating. I could be wrong of her name. She's the white hair.
She's like the posters are the one with the little sister trope.
Yeah, I think that's volume 2. I could be wrong about the volume, but I think that's volume 2.
Have you read them? Because I didn't bother reading them because after watching the anime, I was kind of meh.
Well, the anime ended in a Inuyasha first act type ending.
For Asterisk Wars?
The first.
It wasn't very good, in my opinion.
Well...
The story was kind of bland in the first place anyways. Like, I was kind of interested at first, but then I realized that, like, at the time, the year the Azure Wars came out, this isn't also including the novels, too. Because the anime came out just right after the novel was published, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, it came out like
Oh.
probably within a year. But Asterisk Wars was like sort of just copying another anime. I mean, another story at the same time that had a very similar premise. A bunch of them came out. They were all about like schools and swords and tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And magic, and a bunch of them all came out at once, and they were all very, very similar to each other. I mean, I'm not talking about like, oh, we have a similar premise, but we're going to change it up. I mean, like, almost carbon copies.
It's similar to, we're going to release Armageddon. What? You're going to release Deep Impact at the same time? I remember those times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I got
yeah,
that.
like, because I don't mind stories that are similar, but when they're like almost carbon copies of each other, that you could just copy and paste the characters, and then, like, because the scenarios were like almost very similar.
Well, like Chivalry of the Failed Knight, Asterisk War.
Yeah,
Absolute
Chivalry of the Failed
Duel.
Knight, Asterisk Wars, and they all came out around the same time.
Don't forget about
And there's a third
Absolute
one.
Duel. Absolute Duel, same premise. You know, here's a device, put it into your body, you get a weapon. Basically, your
Yeah.
soul is your weapon. One of the other.
Absolute Duel was actually more original because I actually liked Absolute Duel. I was a bit more curious. That one was branched off midway through because it ended up getting a clue that it needed to be different.
Which brings up a nice segue because I believe one of the other Easter egg was an Absolute Duel in the last episode, and I think this episode too.
I couldn't place all the figures on his shelf because they were blurry and they didn't show it. They do have in Subaru's room. He does have Gun magazine though, which is a manga in Japan.
But do you know who it was though from Absolute Duel? I know. If you don't know, I'll tell you.
It's the one. Yes,
It's
the other chick.
Julie Sigtuna.
I don't remember her name, but yeah,
she's the main character, or one of the main
She
characters.
also has silver hair.
Yes, she does.
And then-
I didn't realize until now.
And then what's the one on the far left?
I have no idea.
Because they don't show it up close.
Well, I don't know the name of the female figurine with the magic staff, so
Yeah, but I mean the poster.
I don't know. I mean, they only show like black ribbons. I can only see to the side. I can't see the other side.
There's a guy and then there's a girl, which is all blurry.
Threats of Fate. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, but yeah, this anime was really good, and so yeah, I liked it how it ended. Like, he sees. Well, actually, before we get there, it's like it was kind of touching because he's under the assumption that he's never going to see his parents again. So that was kind of it got to me a little bit. The feels.
Oh, did you cry? You got teary-eyed?
No, I didn't get teary-eyed, but I just sort of like went, "Oh, that sucks." Type thing.
I didn't get teary-eyed, and nor I didn't felt anything, but I can appreciate like this is a really good storytelling. I know I'm heartless. Sorry, I'm heartless.
No,
it's not Tenchi
I
Muyo levels.
I heavily sympathized.
No,
I wouldn't say that
I'm kidding.
cried, but I sympathized.
Yeah, I mean,
sympathy.
I can understand why it will move people to tears. I totally understand. As a story, in a story by itself, it's really strong and gripping. And it's like I mentioned before, if they had that scene about him not saying goodbye to his mother in the first season, it would have been a nice full circle. Because they're setting up a story point that they will pay off in this episode if they did that. But regardless if they did that or not, this episode by itself was really good. It was really great. I just really loved the interactions Subaru had with his parents, the conversation he had. It was like friends. Him and his father. It was really funny, and his conversation with his mother is like, I remember when I did my best to help you. When you were little, I gave you as a suppository. It was such long ago, and Subaru was like, don't say that. That was really out of nowhere funny. It was really good. I like stupid stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, it was pretty heartfelt, and I didn't expect to see Rem again. I literally thought we won't see Rem again for a long time, but it was nice seeing Rem again, though.
So, speaking of that, though, the way that he spoke to his dad is like, I'm not going to let both of them go, so it makes me sound like he's going to go after both of them now.
Well, the thing is, in episode 2, I think, or was it episode 3? I think it's episode 2. Emilia was asking him, you really love Rem, don't you? And he said, I like Rem as much as I like you, Emilia. I like both of you.
Still says that you're my number one, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the main character. The main character's gotta stick with what he's been doing.
Yeah.
It's a typical anime trope. It's something that you can't help.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But the fact that he basically admitted in the series that he likes both Rem and Amelia just the same. If he loves Amelia, that means he loves Rem.
Yeah, not a lot of anime characters do that, by the way. When they present a harem type of character, they're usually wishy-washy. You don't see it very often where it says, no, I love you both as much as I love the other. I mean, I love this chick as much as I love you. You don't see that as often. Like, I mean, straightforward and seriousness. Usually you see characters maybe joke once in a while, but you don't actually see, like, a heart-filled, like a very serious admittance.
Yeah.
That, like, oh yeah, I like this chick, but I like you just as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, depending on the person, you know, if they prefer a one-on-one relationship, that would not work. But in this case, he's not really looking for a relationship. He's just stating how he feels.
Yeah.
You know, he loves both Amelia and Ram. If not love, then he likes them a lot. He likes Ram and Amelia just the same. Whether he wants to be in a relationship with them, that's different.
I have a feeling that comment is going to come full circle.
I believe
around
so. Yeah.
when they introduce like the actual Witch of Envy, because you got to remember, it's the Witch of Envy. They're envious.
Yes, and also, good thing you mentioned that. You remember in the last episode when you, I think it was the last episode. I keep forgetting the episode when he met with Knuckles, when she said that when she told to Subaru that you absorbed the envy and the envy witch factor. That was a typo. That was a typo.
She said you absorbed the sloth factor.
Yeah, but then you mentioned something that he also has the envy factor as well. It's like, I forgot what you said, but you brought up the fact that he has both.
Because I think that Ekenda said something about that in that conversation.
Yeah, that was a typo, by the way.
She said that, like, no, you just have like a spell or something from, you smell like her, but you don't have the actual factor.
No. It was actually a typo from the subs that made it seem like he also got the envy factor as well. It was supposed to be sloth. So that was a typo on the subs part.
Yeah.
So the conversation we had about him, Subaru having both sloth and envy, it's like, oops, typo error. It is what it is. But it makes a lot more sense now that he only has the sloth factor.
But Echidna does mention something about him having, like, something from the Witch of Envy. But she does say it in a roundabout way, unlike how she mentions about sloth.
I may have to look back at the episode
she
again.
She was very cryptic in the conversation. But yeah. Anyways, I just found it interesting that he looks like he's going to be active. Because he says, I'm never going to let either of them go, basically, when he's talking with his dad.
Well, that was really strong.
Yeah, but that sort of admittance, sort of like, they're both mine, basically. Because normally he loves Amelia only, and so he wouldn't care if Ren got together with someone else, but now it's sort of like, no, I'm not going to let either of them go. They're both mine.
Oh, I thought you were talking about, like, his parents. No, I'm sorry.
He was talking to his dad, in that conversation. He says, I'm not going to let either of them go, which he's implying to both about Rem and Emilia.
Well, yeah, because he feels the same way for both of them.
Yeah.
Which brings up, because the trial is supposed to be face your past and accept your fears. I'm not sure about the fear part, but it's basically face your past and accept something, which I'm going to assume fear makes much more sense. Yeah, but in this case, when he has to go to school, he meets one and only
Echidna.
And it's like, this is really intriguing to me, because when I first saw that scene, it made me, because I was wondering, is she going to be in there? And she was. But the fact that she's there means one thing, and it came to my mind, that she will, either she knows, or she will come to know that he is from another world. Will she be the first character in this franchise to know that second character in this franchise to know that Subaru is from another world?
Well, here's an interesting thing. Oh, in the transition, right, when it goes from him talking to his dad to when he's changing to his uniform, in there, you see like a telephone pole post, and there's a girl with white hair. It looks like she's standing behind it.
I may have to look back into that to see what you're talking about.
So I'm wondering if a kid is watching over him as he's making...
Or it could be the other white-haired chick. That is not Amelia.
Either that, or maybe it's just one of his figures and they just did the transition really weird.
That could also just be that too, yeah. Yeah, who cares about the Witch of Envy?
Yeah, but yeah, Echidna might be the first character that knows that he's from a different world.
Maybe. It would be intriguing. That would be really intriguing, because I really would like to know if any of the other characters, especially like Amelia or Anne or Ram, who else? Puck as well. Yeah, sure. Include the new maid chick. Puck does have no idea.
Puck, I think, knows.
I doubt it. If Byakuya doesn't know, Puck would not have known either.
Well, Puck seems to know something, because, when in all of his deaths he says you're too late, from season 1, it sounds like that he knows something.
Well, he probably knows, either he knows something, or he's just treating him like, okay, whatever he does something good happens. Because if you look at the character's perspective, it's just one go. So far, they never seen Subaru at his worst. They never seen his failures. You always see him succeeding. The closest thing they ever seen to him as a failure will probably be when he lost against Julius really badly in season 1.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, he was really humiliated, like, and then he kind of like screamed at Amelia, saying, "If it wasn't for me, you would not have been alive. You know, you should be thanking me. You should, but this and that. You know, that's probably like the closest thing they ever seen him at his lowest. But other than that, in their eyes, he's been succeeding. So maybe Park just sees him succeeding so far, and they're like, okay, it looks like you succeeded in those other times, but you failed this time. You were late. Cut your hair."
But you're right. I think that
well, that's my guess.
Yeah, but Echidna is going to be a very interesting character. And speaking of Echidna, I don't think she's going to be a villain because she's too good. Because why would she have these trials that actually helps people get over their past or get over their trauma, any worries like that? It seems too good-natured.
But the thing is it her trials, or is she just like hijacked by Ganning into this? You know, she just projecting herself into this. But then again, she did said her last line was, "I didn't expect you to finish this trial this soon."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my assumption is, yeah, you're probably right. It is her trial. Whether you're right about her being a good guy or a good person, I mean, I have no idea. Literally have no idea. All I know from her stuff, but seeing her in action, at least in the beginning, her interaction, is like, that is a really good first impression. I was really impressed. She had so few screen time in her first episode. In her second episode, I guess. And yet, that short screen time, like, was a lot to show her character, and I really like her. I think it might be because she has white eyelashes. I don't know why.
You know what? I have another theory that's going wrong. That all the witches have some sort of bad reputation, but since Subaru is one of these weird people who doesn't have prejudice, you know, since he came from a different world, he's going to get on. You know, all the witches' followers are all crazy because they have presumption beliefs that the witches are evil and they're going to follow the path of evil. And I'm wondering if all the witches were actually originally good people in something, and he gets all the witches on his side near the end.
I mean, so far they're dead, so...
But their spirits, at least, decide, you know...
I guess so. Yeah, I see your point. I think another interesting point to throw out, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, something I just thought of just now, so I don't know if I thought of this earlier. What if all the witches were isekai as well? What if all the witches, Satella, Knuckles, and Typhon, I forgot the other witches' names, because, yeah, what if they also came from other worlds?
That'd be interesting, too.
That'll be stupid if it looked wrong and the series says, no, they're not. They're from this world, you fool. But it'll be interesting to see if they are were isekai. Maybe that's why they have a connection with Subaru somehow. I don't know. Maybe they were isekai to... Maybe they were isekai to Subaru's world. That's how Satella met Subaru, and, you know, I just pulling stuff out of my butt.
Yeah, I don't know. But we have to wait a whole nother week to find out about stuff.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of intrigued to see what Knuckles got to say about these trials.
I mean, or we could just read the light novels.
I mean, you can. Nothing's stopping you from going to the store right now.
But I'm going to wait another week.
Yeah, just go. Oh, man. I'm just so far. I'm pretty impressed about what they've been giving us in these episodes.
Really good. White Fox. White Fox literally has yet to have a huge failure in anything they produce as an anime when they're taking the main helm.
You know what? Not only this, but I'm also intrigued to see what Isekai Quartet Season 3 is going to be like if they include Knuckles into the fray.
That would be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Giving a rating of 1 out of 10, I'm going to give it... Who cares about the ratings, to be honest? I mean, if you enjoy it, go watch it. It's really intriguing. At least to me, I like the series. I like I'm not an Isekai fanatic like some people. I mean, they like Isekai so much they like to watch everything. I mean, yeah, go ahead. But this one is really good. I like it. Even though, to me, in my opinion, Isekai is basically the Rob Schneider of anime.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because the fact is that even though Subaru has an enlightenment, because he's a lot more humble than he was when in the beginning, he's not so much of a self-centered pizza, but he still falls back into it every once in a while, unlike other protagonists where when they have their enlightenment and self-humblement, they seem to magically stick to being a perfect person after that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
and who knows? Maybe Subaru might fall under that same trap as well later on as the series progresses.
So far, they're trying to keep Subaru as human as possible while still
Yeah,
giving
because he
him.
keeps having flashbacks and keeps wanting to. But he keeps having temptation of falling back, unlike other protagonists. Like after they're done, they're like, "Oh no, I'm magically cured of my trauma. It's never going to affect me ever again," type of thing.
I mean, in a way, ReZero is kind of like Steins Gate minus the death as well. I mean,
Yeah,
every time he fails, he has to repeat it again.
yeah. Well, they're done by the same studios too.
Wait, what, really? White Fox did Steins Gate?
Yeah.
Oh. Why isn't there any Steins Gate Easter eggs then?
Oh, because
Figurines
it's.
in this room. Why isn't there?
Oh
It
no,
makes perfect
because
sense.
no, because the fact is that it has to do with publisher.
Well, but isn't it?
They're the same studio, but they're different publishers because the creator of Steins Gate was Mages. The original creator was called Mages.
Right. The five.
And I forget what their full company name is. Nitro Plus, and so they hold sort of like publishing rights for. So in all the scientific series anime, you'll see references to other stuff. Like if you watch the latest, Adventure Scientific series, in there you'll see a Demon Bane figurine standing on the wall, I believe. That is the I forget what the name of the anime was called, but it was for like 2 years back. But all of them are related to it. And whenever you see like a light novel adapted into like an anime, you'll see references by the same publisher.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, it's a marketing thing. Like the anime studio can't really put anything in their own works unless they have a full monopoly over what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or they have a huge, I don't know. It's very tricky too because like Lucky Star, Haruhi, even though Haruhi was based off of a light novel, but Kyoto Animation, and also this was back in the day too, where Kyoto Animation was able to put in references in the background as stuff from their other works. Like Lucky Star referenced, was a promotion for Haruhi, and then for a while they had a bunch of references to their older anime as time went on. I think it was Chemical Market referenced back K-On! I think once, and a bunch of other stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it depends on the studio too, just on how much leeway they have on licensing rights.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, White Fox can do no wrong.
I see. So it's basically, in terms of that, it's a two-step program. Permission from the publisher, permission from the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Alright, so thanks for joining me in this episode. This was a really intriguing and not much action, which is fine because it seems like all the action has been set aside for the first season. I think right now they're focusing more on exposition, but it's flowing pretty nicely.
Yeah,
Is
it's going pretty nicely.
Is it exposition? Because they're saying a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but it was done well. It wasn't like Talk no Jitsu where it was info dump after info dump.
Well, depending on the type of Talk no Jutsu, but I see your point.
Yeah.
Also, I heard that this episode was adapted pretty well, from what people are saying. Some more than others, but the majority consensus is saying like this was pretty well adapted from the light novels. So like, cool. That's nice to know.
Yeah, it is. Well, thank you for having me on. I'll see you again next week then.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. See you next time. And that'll be it for this part. Please tell me in the comments down below what you think about this episode so far. Was it good? Was it bad? All opinions matter. So I just want to improve this channel, and whatever input you got, I'm all ears. So with that said, until next time, later, Yosh. The episode was edited all right. That guy did it. Not bad.
So he didn't notice a difference. I'm sure with more practice, he'll notice my hard work. If not, it's okay. I'll just drag him down to the underworld. And because it's so big damned.